Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream, or rather the Haas stream. It's been about a week, unfortunately. Work has been very busy with basically half the staff missing at school, which makes everything a pain. We're finally back with a little bit more streaming. We're going to continue where we left off. We're about to start Japanese Grand Prix, Suka, and we'll see exactly how this goes if we have some lucky a good end to the season here. We still have potential here for a world championship for Magnussen, but it's gonna be a challenge for sure. Hello, I'm good. It's the reason why I'm missed streaming or doing anything really is just work's been, as I said, hectic, and this weekend I ended up going home to his family, so I didn't have the opportunity to stream. But yeah. This week so far has been a bit more chill, so looking forward to it. Hello, Adam. With that, let's get into the Japanese Grand Prix and see if we can. I don't think I'll get the season done tonight. 5 races remaining, but we might get closer to the end. Hi, Wavies. Do you have any good ones today? But yeah. Okay, Gio gonna be sacrificed for Djokovic. Get the setup set up here. For Suzuka. There we are, that should do it. Pretty sure we checked everything last time, but it looks like every car part is fitted. The only thing is switch to practice setup for engines, and that should be good. Yeah, we'll have to see what we do with Magnussen, if he actually has an advantage to last to the end. Because it's looking kind of doubtful, honestly. So we'll see exactly how that plays out for us. Yeah, Gio should be good. He has plenty of parts, so we should be very, very happy with that. Been stuck at home? What's been happening out there? Hi, Marco. What happened to Gio? Nothing, as far as I know. Basically, it's just for practice. Whenever I put Djokovic, our reserve, in Magnussen's car, our drivers do a lot of shenanigans that they otherwise really don't, but of course it's just randomness, but it's superstition that I have accepted at this point. So it's nothing major. Gio will still be running races. There's nothing weird really there. Just a bit of silliness, honestly. I think that should be good. 95. Yeah, I will be allowed to get that up and running. Hamilton taking penalties. I should check who the other ones were, but we have one more practice. Not a big problem. Us. Geo up to 99. Could be good. That does not sound like fun. That's had a friend of mine do that when we were younger, while mending some fences. So that's not a fun. That's not a fun way to get stuck. Let's just put it like that. Quality here is going to be interesting since it's rain, meaning we could have some potential upsets. It's frustrating more than anything, yeah. That is very understandable. Do I want to gamble on ERS? This one should make it through the next race, I think. But we might need a new engine to really compete. Hello, Tiba. But I think we're ready for quali. Let's see. Let's hope for rain in Q3, maybe.
Radio check.
No rain in Q1.
Yeah,
That is actually promising. Honestly, let's not hope for rating Q3. Let's hope for rating Q2. That would be perfect. We caught up with each other. I assume you're probably a bit ahead of me. Oh, Bottas actually ended up blocking both of our drivers there. Hello, Kieran. Oh yeah, he blocked both of them. That probably means we're gonna have to send him out for another run. Season 3 is one season ahead. Hey Steven, saving as much softs available during quality the best round. It'll depend on basically your strategy. On certain tracks, softs are super good. Namely Baku for one, Singapore. Having extra softs there is great. But also if your drivers are going to struggle to get ahead of the cars in front or lose a DRS train in front that they otherwise would be able to latch onto, it might be better to sacrifice that extra bit of softs for quali. But again, it's very situational. I prefer to save softs just because it gives me more flexibility. But again, depends a lot on situations. Find out which drivers are easiest to get to 100 rated. It will probably be the ones with the highest growth rating, I would assume. Am I wrong, Kieran? Leclerc that get held up indefinitely there. I wouldn't think it was because Piastri grew incredibly quick. Just being a reserve, so generally I would think it's just whoever has the highest multiplier and just use him as a reserve, honestly. Hello BKK. I'm feeling good. It's just work has been a bit busy. Dio is probably not gonna get a second run, is he? Oh, just barely. I've been feeling good. It's just work been stressful. We have a lot of sick teachers, sick teachers, assistants, things like that. So it's just been hectic due to that. But I'm good. Yeah, that's usually what happens. Like traffic can mess you up. Paris, Hamilton, and Verstappen taking penalties. Verstappen taking penalties again here. Gonna be actually quite a boon for us potentially.
Radio check.
Yep.
We box in science? Yeah, we did. Yeah, I would assume that Kieran that you took the average driver stats. I'm glad to, BKK. It's been a busy week, but it's not been bad by any means. Alonso, it's gonna be a bit of a roadblock here. Are we having rain? We are having rain this quali. I think Verstappen is going to get his run in before it starts raining.
More rain expected.
Copy.
But Leclerc is going to suffer, Hamilton's going to suffer. Did Russell get knocked out in Q1? Or am I blind? Yeah, this rain is going to make things a bit more interesting. But yeah, Perez made his run, Verstappen made his run. The rest of here are gonna suffer, so we'll have to see if they can actually beat out Gio's time. Battle there with a good +9.
We've had a crash.
My car becomes dominant enough, I assume. Yeah. Honestly, if you want to like level drivers, there's no reason not to start at the back. Norris was almost a minute behind, so yeah. This is gonna be bad for the wet runners here. We're going to be fighting over 3 positions. I was probably reading chats. I didn't see what happened to Russell, unfortunately. But that too is interesting in its own regard. I think Gio is safe here, so I'm not going to give him a second run. So yeah, can Leclerc improve enough to not get knocked out? He didn't. Russell, you could get Russell as a reserve, he would get to 100? Yeah, probably. Magnussen. So yeah. Leclerc 14th, both. It's gonna be interesting starting with the double alphas. If we have rain in the next quality too, things could get really, really fun. So let's just start them on the softs, like the proper softs, and if we get rain, we're gonna send them out. If we do not get rain, we're gonna switch tires again. We are getting rain, so just send them straight out. They will only have time for 1 run. And we'll see exactly how this plays out for us. Because they have 4 minutes, so they might not actually make the run before it starts raining here. We'll see. It's gonna be close. And if the cars do hold them up, it's gonna be even closer. I think we're just good here, is the thing. None of the Red Bulls have been sent out. Verstappen is going to take penalties. This might be another good chance for Mag, unless he gets held up here at the end. We shall see. Rain is starting. We have Alonso and Vettel on the track. Verstappen just going out, I would assume on softs. He did.
We expect rain again.
So they're even wasting another set of soft tires. I think we're good. I think the wet quality is going to give us a 1-2 qualify here potentially, because it's not going to let up. It's going to get worse. That is actually pretty nice scenario to come back to. And 2 Alpines in the top 5 with Vettel and an Alpha. This is an interesting leaderboard right now. Yeah, Bottas could not improve, Hamilton could not improve, Sainz could not improve. I assume Verstappen could improve either? No, none of them could improve. Hello, Nianke. I'm glad to be back. It's been a busy week. So yeah, most of the people who have actually finished lower end is actually going to take penalties as well. So, seeing that we have the Alpines and Alpha behind us, potentially creating a gap for our cars is doable. It's going to be if we can get to the end of the race by doing so.
Here we are, folks.
Up ahead, because again, the Red Bulls do have a pretty significant pace advantage over us. Time consideration, 30-second pit lane. Decent chance of safety car. Performance-wise here, softs aren't really that good. In theory, they're just 500s quicker than mediums, and they grade 200s, so again, just 3 laps. Compared to hards, though, they will be competitive for far longer. 300s of degradation, about 410s, so 10, 12, 13 laps. Soft to medium 1 stop 8 is probably the main thing to do, because the mediums will probably never ever lose out to the hards. So, can we do a soft to medium 1 stop? It's going to be rough, but it's doable. Alpine and Aston get more starting money than Ferrari. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly, too much. What we could do is go soft, medium, soft, play it a bit safe. This is supposedly quicker. Medium hard is the best bet here. Probably if we're going to push tires. I have the tires to stop safer. It probably is. If we're pushing tires, soft, soft, medium could probably work. The degradation difference between mediums and hard just means that mediums will be better than hards for the entire race, unfortunately, which makes it a bit more of a challenge. I think what we're going to do is to soft, soft, medium, or soft, medium, soft. And just put in that 1 extra kilogram of fuel. Push fuel for a bit. See if we can get a gap to the cars behind us. And basically, to some degree, try and run away with it. Because we are starting 1-2 here due to the rain. We can try and use that to our advantage. Your Verstappen is so crash sensitive. You crash so you can't crash. Which circle would that be? Did he crash at Coda? Like, when I imagine crash, I imagine him running, like, hitting the sides of the track. I'm glad, Ninke. I'll try and stream a bit more commonly than now, but my streams are not really planned, unfortunately, and I usually get pretty short notice, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm glad to have you around. I think this is good. We have both of them to push and deploy. That should be okay. We'll gamble for a 2-stopper, potentially take advantage of a safety car if we can. Try and get as much of a gap to the cars back early on.
Get ready. It's the Japanese
And I see a
Grand
lot
Prix.
of red banded tires here, so I would
And
assume
it's lights out, and away
everyone
we
is
go.
running them. And they are. So with that in mind, running Haas probably wouldn't be the worst idea ever. I thought I did, but I might not have clicked enter properly. I did not. So I shall hoot everyone right now. There we go. My apologies. I forget that if you want to hoot everyone, you need to actually double click. The new format for Baku, the sprint quali for sprint, and then quali for hard Q1. That's going to be interesting. Okay, so currently we have Gio already kind of fallen behind Magnussen, but then again, he has more than that down to Alonso. So I think I'm actually a bit comfortable here with just speeding things up. We have Perez and Verstappen at the back, which is great for us. Hamilton and Russell 14th, 15th, so they could potentially be roadblocks for the Red Bulls. Personally, I think this is looking fairly good. Again, if we can get rid of the cars behind, just have our 2 cars DRS off each other. Basically have Magnussen, to some degree, act as a pulley, to some degree, for Gio. That would be great. Let's see if we can actually pull something like that off. Hard Q1, medium Q2, soft Q3. It would be interesting to watch, but I thought they also were doing the changes to the sprint format. That you have a qualifying for the sprint, and then you have a qualifying for the race. The sprint does not affect that much. Seems like Magnussen is kind of still leaving just Gio behind. I'm going to deploy a little bit more ERS. Get out of the grasp from Alonso. And that should hopefully be okay. Now, Verstappen still hasn't actually made a single move. So that's promising for us. But again, Gio is just falling behind in anything that is technical, fortunately. Hello, Dom. A sprint in Baku is going to be scary, more so than crazy. I honestly don't know, Ninka. I haven't had too much of a look of it yet. I've just been reading the Formula Reddit mainly, personally. But it looks like they're going to be interesting for sure. Yeah, let's be fair. If Formula Management could, they would run 3 races in this single weekend, just because they would think it would get them more money. And that is basically the idea here with having a sprint race, I guess, in Baku. that was basically the idea with sprint race in general, I think. Gio is still holding on. Alonso is doing a great job in his Alpine, honestly. Verstappen is still not made any moves, neither of Hamilton and Russell, which means that DRS here and overtaking is just plain old painful. So, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, BKK. They should have figured things out a bit earlier. This is like if I decided to hand my students a surprise test after a weekend just to mess with them. Not that I'd ever do that, but it's a fair comparison, I feel. Gio is falling behind now, though. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting for sure. Like the biggest thing that people have complained about sprint races is that if you have an accident or get bumped or something, your race is just over for. And I'd agree with that. So we'll see if the quality for the sprint and the quality for the race might make people take more risks during the sprint too, which is going to be very interesting seeing that is Baku. So yeah, 5 races in 6 weeks now. It's going to be rough. I am indeed a teacher, yes. Although it is such how should I put this? Thankless work, I guess, that I am considering switching work right now, because particularly in Norway, you basically are asked to be not only a teacher, you need to document everything, you need to be a shrink, a mediator, everything. So basically, I spend less and less time teaching every year. In Austria, 2002, switch Italian Jesus around. Gio, I'm looking forward to see if he can keep up with Alonso here. We might need to give him a little bit of a hand.
I think we've had a car run wide.
If Gio is close enough to Magnussen by the end and we're safe, I'm gonna give Gio... Sorry, I'm not gonna give Gio a win. I'm gonna give Gio a chance to fight for the win, because we are still fighting Verstappen in the championship here. And a win here would actually put Magnussen equal to them. He's overtaken by Alonso, he's a god. I'm just hoping he can keep up with Alonso, because Alonso is basically keeping up with us. And we are pushing fuel. So once we stop pushing fuel, he's probably going to catch up. That's going to be a bit of a rough one. Now we also need to keep in mind that most people here are probably going to be running at one stop, I think. So we'll see how that plays out. I think this weekend is going to be a mess of El Ninka. It wouldn't surprise me. Like, if people they've already been complaining a lot about not missing, but like the car parts being broken. And I think we'll see a bit more of that. So we have Alonso pitting already. And as you can see, because we have been burning fuel, our tires have taken more of a hit than our opponents. I think it's safe for us to not pit just yet, but this is definitely an aggressive move from Alonso. And let's say that if we do pit, we're going to come out pretty far back, even if we do. But we wouldn't really lose anything in terms of the expected race time. So we could straight up respond. And I think we are going to respond with Gio. And hopefully that way keep Gio in contention here. And we'll delay Magnussen's stop by 1 or 2 laps. Miami's going to be boring. Would not really surprise me too much if it is, but with such a tightly packed schedule, I think the teams themselves will be happy with boring. Had a crash on track and a yellow. Oh, we had more crashes on track. Vettel, unfortunately.
There's been a crash. Here's the replay. Now we see Valtteri Bottas.
I would be interested to see how McLaren does. They've not had the best season so far.
There's the crash.
Okay, so Bottas crashed, but Vettel lost out. Or did Vettel pit? No, he didn't. Did he? No, he didn't. See what we get from a pit stop now from Gio. Where will he come out? Will he beat Alonso? Just barely beat Alonso there. So did jump Alonso in the pits. A lot of people are now pitting, which should mean a two-stopper. And I think with that, we can probably have Magnussen just push here. Rest he can. Rest that he has. And get onto those mediums. It should be fair to do that now. Might be a bit too soon, but it should be okay. And we'll just push fuel a little bit longer too. Norris talking to Red Bull? It wouldn't surprise me at this stage. Like, it's kind of like Leclerc. Norris is kind of in the same boat there, where the team might be kind of losing out a bit, losing faith. But I don't personally believe a move can happen. I teach English among other things, yeah. I also teach mathematics. I love that I said I teach English and I can't remember what the word is called. Society studies? Social studies? We have a weird name for it in Norwegian.
I think that was a crash.
Russell's
You can take
crashed.
a look now. Now let's look at this. Here's George Russell.
Norris does have a pretty long contract, yeah, which is why
Clearly, something
people don't really want to buy him out. Same thing that happened to Bottas there. Verstappen looks to be better off now, but again, he still needs to pit, probably on a one-stopper. And Magnussen and Gio looking good. They are semi-fresh air. They're not in a bad spot right now. I think we'll go balanced on... We could probably push a little bit more on these. And that should be okay. Social studies, yeah. The thing is, the Norwegian word for literally translate into society studies. So that always throws me off. Good balance there. Save a little bit. We're getting signs. Now Mag behind the two McLarens. See if we can make something work. In terms of the tires here, most are on... Alonso's actually went onto another set of softs immediately. So he's pitting again for sure. This is going to be a bit interesting. Because the McLarens are definitely on a one-stopper. And that is kind of causing Magnussen a bit of pain now because we're losing out behind them. The fact that Verstappen is still down into 15th, so, but now he has pitted, is a bit unfortunate for him. Magnussen did get the first move done. With DRS, he should get the second move done easily here. And he did. So he might actually end up pulling ahead the two McLarens. I think if Checo's staying or not will depend on Checo. Basically, if Checo can curb his desire to be world champion enough to basically be a good little number two, I don't think Red Bull will be too eager to get rid of him yet. But then again, if you put, say, Rick or Norris in his seat, are they going to be happy playing that number two role too? That is basically Red Bull's luxury problem. They have probably the world's best driver right now as their number one, and then they need someone who's willing to just sit behind and play the good little teammate that they need. I could see Norris move too, but I'm a bit unsure where. Potentially what could happen is that if Hamilton hangs up his helmet, so to speak, he might go there, potentially. Hey Blasted, glad to see you too. Don't worry about it, I'm happy that you enjoy watching the streams. You say soon, but it's 26, so still 3 years out. Well, after this season it'll be 2 years out, so you might be very correct there. Norris to Audi? That would be something, yeah. That's the thing, though. That's the thing. All of these, you know, world-class drivers are very competitive. There's not a lot of them who are happy with being the number two, but that is usually what teams who have, say, the world's best driver really want. Oh yeah, Geo's fuel. Thank you. They just want stability. They have their number one driver to, you know, get them wins, get them media coverage, things like that, and then they just need a number two driver to bring stability. And that is unfortunately the reality of the corporate side. But of course, from our side, we would love to have just two of the world's best drivers on the same team, in the same car, just having a go at each other. Okay, so Sainz did beat Gio here, and he's already gotten a gap. I don't think we really can close that down. That's going to be a problem. Yeah, he's actually probably going to get Magnussen too. And I don't think he can make it to the end on those tires, but it's still scary. So we'll see. Feel free to ask any questions you want, Ninka. Well, we also have a bunch of other restrictions, Marco. You can check out in chat to make the game more interesting. And honestly, personally, I'd say it worked, but multiple cars crashed. Is gonna be safety car? Can't get Gio in anyways. Bottas with a penalty. Looks like everyone is still moving, so no safety car.
Let's take a closer look. Now let's watch this. The Alfa Romeo involved in this one.
Ooh, that could be a lot worse than that. There's two cars.
Oh, did someone run wide there?
Gio ran wide?
What happened there? Now just focus on the Haas. They go wide right off the racing line.
It wasn't even off the track, man. But okay. Slightly wide, I guess. Bottas, yeah, was probably a bit of a anomaly, though. To be fair, though, the man basically was super stressed while doing it too. Safety car. Guess this is our opportunity. If we go on a new set of mediums, we're gonna lose a little bit of track position doing this. If we go on the mediums now, we can make them last to the end, for sure. Basically at the same amount of time. So we're going to do that. We're going to get both cars in. We're going to get them on the mediums. It's a shame we didn't get the safety car a little bit earlier, but nothing we can do about that. We should still be ahead of Verstappen, which is the big one. By the time safety car is over, I also expect all of these cars, the 4 soft drivers, to pit as well. So in terms of position, we won't lose out too much. I hope. So we'll see how that works. But yeah, Red Bull had indeed put all the chips for Max, and that's not going to change. There's no reason for that to change. Yeah. It's kind of weird, that one, with Merc and Ferrari and everything right now. Okay, so I'm going to need both of you to push everything you have, even though it's a safety car. And get in for the pit stops here. So yeah, Hamilton, Perez are pitting.
I think there's been contact on the track. Let's take a look at the replay. Now look at this. It was the AlphaTauri driver involved.
I wish I could see this. I really would. I really wish.
And there's the hit. And it's crystal clear who was in the wrong there.
There we go. Finally, we can see something. But yeah, we're going to pit. Hamilton, Perez are pitting. As I said, kind of surprised the other two soft runners. Alonso here didn't pit, but I would assume we'll see him going back in after us. Welcome back, Kieran. Yeah, that was an interesting one. Albon out, and we have a lot of, again, Haas pitting. We'll try and take advantage. I don't think Sainz is going to pit. I don't think Ocon, Norris are going to pit either. But again, we shouldn't come out too far behind. And again, Alonso, Leclerc pitting. We'll have to see if Gio can actually jump out in front of them. He could. He's still safe there. So we lost 2 positions from this pit stop. I'd say that is very, very acceptable. for what is actually the final pit stop of the race here. Paris Verstappen, 10th and 11th. Paris on fresh, Verstappen on old. That's what we like to see. Bottas is not gonna make it to the end on the softs, I think. That's gonna be painful.
Safety car is in this lap.
Yeah, safety car already ending. Question now, so we want to push fuel from the get-go.
Pace a little bit.
Copy that.
If you don't need it, no lift and coast.
Guess we'll go balance for now. The reason why we're not going hard tires, Steven, is that these tires can... We're on the correct setting here. They can last to the end. And if we went hard tires instead, they would be a lot slower. Not by the virtue of only the pit stop, but by virtue of the fact that you can actually check the expected compound performances. As you can see, mediums, 33 ones, hards, 33 fives. We have 20 laps to go. The degradation is 100 more on the mediums, which means that for this particular setup, the mediums would have to run for 37 laps before the hards start being quicker. So that's why we're going on the mediums here instead of the hards. It's just the better compound.
Need to charge off.
Copy.
And I think we will push fuel.
We will go to high fuel now.
Copy.
And we will give Magnussen the overtake. And we'll see if we can make some moves happen here. And we'll give Gio the overtake once he has an opportunity to overtake something that isn't our teammate. Every time I create a good car, it quickly falls back to midfield, but I also want to do research for next season. Basically, the way research work is, well, the way changes work is that you get hit by a percentage. So say you have 80% gain and something, 10% hit, you lose 8%. Generally, I would not design it very high above that. I would rather use research. But in terms of balancing them, it might be kind of silly, but as long as you can make sure that you don't lose any stats, you'll generally be very good. You'll generally hold an advantage over the AI, a pretty significant advantage. So I try and balance around that, but again, it's very team dependent and situation dependent, honestly. Nienke. So if you have a particular scenario, I might be able to help you with a bit more. But generally, you want to focus on design until you get upper midfield, you know, podium car, winning car, whichever you want, and then you'll start focus research and mainly catch up on everything research related before you might go back to design. For research, you generally just want to make sure that you keep up with the regulation change, so you don't actually lose any stats or expertise from the regulation change, and then you're usually good. If your research is all caught up, that you'll not be losing anything next season, feel free to use design. Just make sure you use intense design, and it will be better than research, but very slightly. So feel free to use research too if you want to just focus on next season car. That's fine. But generally, there's not really a wrong way of doing things.
DRS enabled.
There we go. We got signs. Let's see if we can stay here. You're up into third.
Good job.
I don't know if he'll be able to hold on to his position. That's going to be a bit more interesting. And it's also going to be interesting to see how Magnussen does against the Ferrari, because I assume that Ferrari is mostly fresh. Look here. Tapisserie for signs. It's actually an older Ferrari, which is even scarier. Like 54% engine. But basically, we might need to see that, and if we can do some shenanigans to pull away, we'll go balance for now. Same for Geo, and that should be good. But yeah, if you want to go for a championship, designing all the way isn't the worst part. You're going to suffer a little bit from next season. But generally, the way I would do it is just to make sure that my research is caught up with the losses and expertise. And then it's mainly, again, the underfloor and your front and rear wings. The other two pieces can easily be regained any other time. But underfloor, front wing, rear wing, the stats you gain from those are just so much more than anywhere else that I wouldn't be willing to sacrifice them for anything, really. If you want to fight for the championship next season, if you don't have your facilities, well, some of them, mainly your wind tunnel and CFD facility maxed, you could do research because it's cheaper than design. And just take it from there. Ocon and Sainz pitted. Are you kidding me? He pitted onto softs from... I don't get you. But I'll take it. Hello, Slav. It's actually going well. We're looking for potentially another 1-2 here. Surprisingly enough. Rain in quali helped us out a ton.
Ferrari, advance the race position.
Leclerc is now fighting Gio, though. That's going to be interesting. Yeah. To be fair, if you want to win for next season, just focus on, again, your facilities. Some are not worth it. I made a video on that too ages ago. I don't think that's changed much. But generally, yeah, just make sure that you... Yeah, Verstappen, did he pit again? He did, didn't he? Yeah. That's going to help us out a ton. Thank you, Kieran. Yeah, research is great for next season car. Design is still very good for current season car. But research is also great if you want to try and save some money to upgrade your facilities. The ones that kind of matter. But I think you'll be good. I don't think you should be too worried, Ninka. McLaren is one of the lower rated teams, and it takes a bit of work to get them up there. So don't worry too much about it. I also do love the fact that Norris is currently being a roadblock for the cars behind. And we're almost a full pit stop ahead of Verstappen. You finally upgraded the CFD facility maximum at the end of Season 4. To be fair, at the end of Season 4, the gain from that facility is probably a bit minimal. Yeah. I don't think it's even that, Marco. The game, basically, if you don't upgrade facilities, you're never going to have problems with money. Which I think this stream has kind of proven. I think we have about 100 million in the bank or so. Because we haven't touched facilities yet, basically. We've upgraded Weather Center, and that's about it.
Is that a lockup?
That's a bit interesting. Looks like Gio is potentially sailing for a third place here if we can keep Hamilton behind. Leclerc is being a bit annoying. And he's actually kind of running away from us here.
Ferrari just gained a place.
This could be a problem. Leclerc gonna do a little bit of a sneak here. We have the same tire wear. I would assume he has maybe a little bit better than Sainz's car. Nope, he's even worse, so we should be able to get him here. But we might need to save some energy to make this happen. Okay, back to all cars behind. Could probably try that. Do a whole season win every race? It's gonna be difficult because your drivers will have an accident or two. That's gonna make that a bit tough, honestly. Let's have Magnussen push fuel here. And we'll have Gio do the same. They should have more than enough to push to the end, honestly. I should have started doing that a bit earlier.
Lifting coast.
Copy.
Verstappen is still down in 14th though. That is very nice, but I really wish we can get a win here because I think that puts us 1 point behind Verstappen with 4 races to go. But Leclerc is just a speed demon right now. Like Magnussen was a whole second slower last lap.
Five laps remaining.
About equal this last lap. I'm wondering if you might have to save a bit of energy here and just get him ready for trying the overtake towards the end.
Charge on.
Copy.
And for Gio, it's just attempting to keep that gap to Hamilton, which is probably going to be a bit difficult, honestly. Honestly, engine cooling should be fine to ignore Nienke. Brake cooling might be something you want to focus a little bit on, just for lockups.
Charge off.
But brake cooling you can mainly just ignore. Sorry, not brake, engine cooling. Surprised that Ferrari is that much quicker than us. Did they maybe get a new underfloor? Because he's running a damaged engine. That should hurt him by at least half a second a lap. But even so, we're having trouble keeping up. And we're running basically identical tires too. So yeah, this is a concern.
4 laps remaining.
Gio still a second ahead of Hamilton, but Hamilton was getting 6/10 on that last lap, so yeah. We'd be suffering quite a bit. Ferrari are fast because they have spin auto. You missed Binotto? Knowing Ferrari, should I say I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back? Might have been a little bit too linear on my part, giving Leclerc the chance. We shall see though. We might try and do a cheeky one and get him on the final lap, because as long as we get him on this zone here, we should be good. And if we get him on the final lap, we give him no chance to fight back. You miss every director. Gio again is just doing his thing. Hamilton is going to be a problem here. We will probably have to fight him
3
though.
laps
It's going to
remaining.
be interesting to see. My main concern now is that we're actually getting closer to lapping someone, and that could throw us even further back.
Mercedes moved up a place.
Currently, I'm not losing any frames according to OBS. Looks smooth on the preview too. I noticed the notification, Inca. I just didn't have a chance to go through it yet because I was basically just got home from work, made food, and I got ready to stream. To be fair though, OBS had lied to me before current, so I'll do a quick check here. On the other preview. Does look okay, so could be my internet just acting up, something like that. Bit unsure. Personally looking forward to the Chaos Mod driver and staff changes will make it a start.
2 laps to go.
If this keeps up, we might be able to make something happen, but it's still going to be rough. Hamilton's already left Giovinazzi behind. I think running him aggressive to the end should be okay.
We're happy with you pushing.
I think we're kind of going to have to gamble on that. Kind of slowing, just slightly. Safety car. Okay, this race is going to end with a safety car. That is unfortunate.
And DRS is now disabled. DRS disabled.
Unless we get a one-lap safety car. That would be amazing.
Sounds like there's been a crash.
It's
Let's
Bottas
have a
again.
look. Now we see Valtteri Bottas. They've lost control.
He does not like that corner, eh? Not much we can do about that. Second and fourth is still great here. If we're stopping out of the points, we're going to gain a ton. It's just a shame that we could have gained more. But yeah, this should be definitely be under safety car. Unless Leclerc pits here for God knows what reason.
Starting final lap.
Because that would be something the AI would do. Like pit under last lap safety car. Yeah, it's
Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap.
that shouldn't actually matter, but let's see if we can make some shenanigans
Come on, you can do
happen.
this.
Copy.
Because we aren't technically allowed to overtake before the timing line, so I don't think that anything will happen. But it would be funny if it did.
The safety car has left the front of the pack.
Copy.
We will go to high
Yeah.
fuel now.
That's what I expected. Yeah. Yes, Mikey, yes. Stephen very happy that Leclerc got saved. But yeah, it would still be difficult for us to take Leclerc here. Hamilton made up 13 places, same for Perez. The Alpines, both in the points still. McLaren's got their way up into the points. Both Ferraris in the points. A Merc in the points. We're all making up 6 places in a Williams. Who said rolling time wasn't here. Power Championship with this, we actually take the lead. We I thought we were at first place behind. But this does put us 2 points out of Verstappen. 4 races to go. Gonna be interesting. Fortunately, no movement here from Gio. Still looking good though. Leclerc moves up past his teammate. Verstappen falls down to second. And yeah, we have Magnussen now, P1 in the Constructor Championship. Team-wise, we're still third. We're 5 points behind Ferrari. Red Bull is kind of out of grasp though. But we do have McLaren moving up ahead of Alpha. And it was a bit unfortunate Williams still haven't scored any points. I think this is the closest they've been with the Stroll. So we'll see how the next few races go. Magnussen is currently first, yes. We have side pods. I believe these are just cooling side pods though. We'll check. We are checking. Exceeding expectations. I would hope so. But Coda is gonna be rough. There's no really like cheese we can do. And let's see here. These are actually kind of competitive side pods, but I don't think we're allowed to use them. Due to the 3-piece limiter, this is basically for next season. think. So yeah, that's gonna use them. We are gonna start a new project though. We've made 4 side pods. Guess suspension is next time for brake cooling. We'll actually wait on that. We'll do the CFD time for that. And we'll do optimized cooling like so. Because that is the idea. Also made my 2 pieces of each during the season. We switched completely over to cooling. And we do not do any research. We're gonna probably need some luck, honestly, Marco, but nothing is impossible. If Verstappen keeps on doing what he has been doing, which is finish out of the points, he did this race, he did it last race, then it's definitely possible. But we are gonna need a bit of luck too. Probably a couple of safety cars to help us out. Because, as I said, because of the restrictions, we can't actually get any new parts to our car. And that's gonna be a bit troubling in terms of trying to win the championship. I don't think anyone can catch up to Red Bull in the team championship. They are 130 points ahead of the next team, and we're gonna have a rain race, which it might actually benefit us greatly. Or toss me out of the points. There's always a double chance of that. The second issue that we're going to have with Magnussen is that his engine is going to be weak from the final race. So we'll have to see exactly how we want to deal with that. Again, he only has 1 good engine at 84% condition. So we have a couple of concerns, but rain here in the US of A, that's going to actually benefit us, I think. 40, 40, 40, 40, 2.8, and 13 and 8.5 should do it. And once again, we will be giving Drogovic Giovanetti's car. It seems to be good luck for Magnussen. So that should be okay. With that, I think we're ready to do practice. Good luck with that, Kieran. I hope you pull that off. F1 Manage 2023. I don't think there's any news out yet. It's been like a week or so since I last checked, but again, I don't think there's any news out, so I don't really have any big opinions on it yet. I have a lot of things that I hope for, but I'll keep my expectations tempered until we actually know more. So Hamilton's taking penalties, Alonso's taking penalties, Bottas, Ocon, Gasly taking penalties, Albon, Show. Verstappen here with pretty good time, so could have again a pretty sad weekend here, but we shall hope for the best. Let's see here what we can do, like so maybe. I think we try that. Do we have any glaring problems here? Like so. Yeah. Again, don't really have any too many opinions on it right now. Have a lot of wishes. If they have, again, announced it, I'm gonna be spending my evening after stream having a look at that. Maybe even finish off the stream with it. We'll have to see. But that's it right now. I haven't heard anything, so don't really have any strong opinions either way.
Ready to check, Kev?
What I want to...
What you do is good.
Did I just... I played it. Of course I did. To be fair, this is actually good because you kind of do want 2 sets of hard for this track. This is actually kind of perfect. Okay, we'll send you out on this. And I want both of you to conserve these tires as much as you can. And what I want to improve, honestly, I just want to see a bit more individuality from both the drivers and the teams. Right now, every car is the same. Every driver is the same. When you look at it from a stats perspective, I just want to see a bit more individuality, have a bit more effect on your car from year to year. Let's say this year we focused on making our car have less tire wear, better fuel efficiency, things like that. I would like to see the engines change too from year to year, because right now they're all static. And basically just make things a bit more changeable, a bit more breathing, a bit more organic. Makes the things change from season to season. Because right now, because most of the important things like the cars, the engines, the drivers are kind of the same in every team,
Like someone's gone wide there.
there isn't too much of a variance, honestly. And that makes it a bit boring for me personally. So I'd just like to see a bit difference there. It's a very good base to start on, yeah. I like to see a bit more focus on driver growth, as I was saying. And apparently Marco really wants sprints. Oh, that is us crashing with a Williams, is it not? Completely wrecking the gearbox, but it was wrecked to begin with, so that's not a big problem. The rear wing taking damage. Okay, so we got wrecked by Williams. Is what I'm getting from that, which isn't that surprising. Is there even a point of calling him in? I don't think so. Well, we could call him in. We probably should call both cars in, because it's gonna rain. But yeah, that's a bit of an annoyance.
It's a collision. We can take a look now. Now let's look at this. The focus on Sonoda.
Apparently, they're also... Oh, that is...
No! And there's the crash.
That's a triple threat. Generally, I just like to see, again, improvements to make the world a bit more living, a bit more challenging. Make the AI be a bit more clever too. Would also be really good. Because right now they're really easy to trick. Configure. It's raining. Let's go for enters. And we'll just set it up so you can run to the end here. I don't remember how long it's left, but let's just go with 23 laps. And we'll do the same here for Giovinazzi. I don't mean the AI be tricked straight up, Dom. What I'm saying when I say the AI is being tricked is particularly under safety cars. They will very rarely do good pit stops with the current way the rules are set up. You can usually take advantage of your knowledge and basically wet weather qualities, for instance, yeah, they don't care about that. Safety cars, VSCs, there's so many times you can take advantage that where the AI just doesn't know what's happening. And that's what I mean. It's less the AI being tricked and more the AI being stupid, honestly. And this should be okay for this, yeah. The crash is better, yeah. Having a bit more organic, I know I say organic a lot, but like a more realistic crashing experience where it isn't just full corners on every track where every incident happens would be good. And of course having random failures rather than no failures, which is the current thing.
Kev, how's the balance?
I'm happy here.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, like there should be a risk in running low like these parts. Should definitely make it so that if you survive the race, it should be a blessing from heaven. But yeah, fact that there's no engine failures, things like that right now, it just makes me think that because the AI currently is very, very bad when it comes to switching out damaged parts, makes me think that they didn't add that because half your races you'd have 10 cars DNF because they're running parts that are fit for the scrapyard, unfortunately. F1, yeah, crash would be like lockups, indeed. To be fair, some of them are spins, like 1 in 20. Particularly in Singapore, they'll like spin and hit the rear wing on the wall. I honestly don't mind if they don't make the races shorter, but it would be good if you could get an option to play half-length races, quarter-length races, or just straight up give us the option to save mid-race would be
to us it's not raining.
would be pretty good. We'll just run these tires to the end. To be fair though, I would like to give as many options to people as they'd like. Like having changes like difficulty, race length, things like that, to what people enjoy would be great. Because I would really enjoy a higher difficulty personally right now. That would be great. But I know some people wouldn't enjoy that, and again, I would just have more options for what people enjoy and don't enjoy. That would be my best thing here. Sprint races could be a good addition. It'll have to, like, if you add the sprint races to the current edition, your parts wear would be insane. You literally see this every few races, which is unfortunate. But it is a part of racing, and it would be a good addition to the game, I think. But again, just give us the option. There's some people who absolutely abhor sprint races, other ones feel like they're the best thing ever. Just give us the option. Sprint races, yes, no. Toggle at the start of a season or the start of a campaign, things like that. And that would be good. Yeah, but just being able to save mid-race would be pretty nice. Yeah, it looks like we're starting with a wet quali here. Let's get on the proper parts. Get into this. You have extra gearboxes, that shouldn't be a problem. Guess we're gonna gamble you not wasting this ERS in the wet. This one should be good. This one should be okay. And put on a proper gearbox because you still have 2 more. Yeah, let's get into quali here.
Radio check.
So yeah, we're gonna have a...
Yeah, radio check.
Not really a dry spell there towards the end, so I think sending him out immediately would be good. Probably the best it's gonna be. Yeah, I would like just to have options for most things, honestly. Deciding specific things in the parts you develop. Having more randomness in parts would be like good, so you could like truly focus something. Because again, right now, again, parts development seem very similar from team to team. There's no individuality in it. And again, personally, I'm not a big fan of that. Looks like show was not a roadblock for us there for Geo. That's nice. Magnussen is going to be running into one in Tsunoda, I think. Maybe. I think he was good. Russell already beat us out. Let's see if the other cars do. Because wet quality is not a fun time for me, I figured out. It's usually where I do my worst. So far, though, it's looking pretty good. Prize money, just numbers. The way prize money works is I believe it's given to you over a 12-month basis. So you get, I might be misremembering this, but you might be giving them over a 12-month period, or you get everything immediately. But there are things like marketing, your engine cost, your other fees, basically a bunch of other costs that get taken out of your prize money, so that you don't get a lot of it back. So you might win 80 million, but because of costs, you might only get 30 that way. So you do get your prize money, but there are costs involved too, which lessen your prize money given. Well, as I said, you get it over a 12-month basis. Again, money hasn't been an issue to the point where I actually have forgotten which one it is. Development isn't necessarily bad right now, but it's very, very streamlined. And again, just pulling everything to the right is a bit boring, personally. Feel. Again, we do want to save Haas here. Guess we should do this like so. Manage qualifying. Welcome back, babies.
Radio check, Kevin.
Gonna be dry the entire time.
Radio's good.
So let's just send both of them out immediately. We can get a decent time. Oh. Gio will have to deal with the Alonso block. Magnussen actually have to deal with the Alonso block. That's gonna be painful. The wily old fox at it again. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to Baku 2 because of Alonso. It's gonna be fun to watch. Okay. This might be a bad time for Gio, because we don't really have plenty of tires for this. And both Verstappen and Leclerc has set a time yet, so we're gonna have to send Gio out again. But I don't think he'll set a better time, unfortunately. We'll see on Friday what he's up to. He seems to be a bit happier currently, so he might have put those antics behind him. We shall see. Let's see if I send Gio out soon enough that I should probably have slowed down time a bit more. Just barely made it, I guess. See if he can improve his time. Noteworthy. By half a second? Nah, not happening. I should just give him the fresh so he could get into Q3. That's my bad. He seems to have full love life. I haven't actually checked up on that. What has he done this time? What kind of trouble has he gotten himself into?
Radio check, Kevin.
Getting full
Radio's
dry Wally here. Now and now I've been more gossip to check up on after the stream before I go to bed. Magnussen getting held up. Is Leclerc gonna get held up? Probably not. He's probably just safe. He is. We're gonna use a fresh set here because we kind of have to. And to be fair, degradation in this place is so high, there's no reason to save this off here, personally. Thank you, Kieran, not right now. There's nothing that comes to mind, but if I should be uncertain about something, I'll either ask you on Discord or DM you. Because right now, as I said, I don't have anything coming to mind. What? Alonso dating Taylor Swift? What reality are we in? Okay, I need to have a look at that because that sounds insanity. Alonso's been single since 2011. More mixed, right? I would like to see more fluid driver transfers too, because right now it's everything at the end of the year. It's a rumor, not even the tabloids that touch it. That does sound interesting though. Road and track mix. That does sound interesting at least. 7th, that's not a great quality. To be fair though, it's technically second row because of penalties, I think. Should be. So it's not bad, but like this is a weird qualifying grid. We have 2 Mercs and the top 4. That's great. The Alpines though are kind of a surprise. Bottas, Alpha. I guess you can kind of see it. Verstappen down in 6th though, and Perez nowhere in sight. That's a different thing though. Ferrari's 8th and 9th, and then Norris finishing out this again very weird qualifying grid. What's their age difference? I have no idea. Alonso's like 40 something, 42, 43.
It's race day.
I have no clue how old Taylor Swift is. I have a little sister who likes the music, but that's about it. Fairly short pit lane, 22 seconds, 50% chance safety car. Degradation is high, as you can see. Mediums will only be quicker than hards for about 10 laps only. That is very, very minor. And softs will only be quicker than the mediums for about 5 laps, and then even hards, they lose out in, as you can see, at 7 to 8 laps. So, did a TikTok saying it's race week era? Okay. Let's have a quick Google here. How old is Taylor Swift? I think she's about in her 30s or something like that. Yeah, she's 33. How old is Alonso? He's 41, so I was off. So they aren't that far apart, 8 years. So, yeah, 33 and 41. So the age gap isn't that bad from that perspective, because they're all both over getting up there. It's just a bit surprising, honestly. 8 years ain't far when you talk about a 33-year-old and 41-year-old. If you talk about a, 25-year-old, then it becomes a bit more, problematic. It's all about perspective, Dom. If you talk about a 20-year-old and a 4-year age gap, it could be potentially police problematic. So yeah, but 33 and 41, that ain't too bad. Even got NASCAR talking about it. I might have to look into these rumors waves later. Now you get me interested. But yeah, what did we figure out about the tires? Medium, hard probably, because this is a 2-stop track no matter what happens. Are we gonna have any rain is the big question here. We are actually gonna have rain. So rain from lap 10. And it's gonna be intermediates for the entire race. Let's see here. If we take this as a base, like so, even then, in 2 sets of inters will make it to the end. Holy! We're gonna have to 4-stop here? No, 3-stop. Looks like we might have to. So I think this is the play. We do 10, 25, 40. Because if we do if we go into inters, and then they don't last as long as we want, that's going to be painful too. So this is going to be... I'm looking forward to seeing what the AI does here, because this one is going to be weird. This one is going to be real weird. That's what I'm getting the feeling of here. This will be the base strategy. We'll have to see. Might change it up as things happen. Again, starting on the softs. Could be a better idea to start on the mediums. Sure. But again, the softs here will be quicker than the mediums for about 5 laps. Honestly, starting on the mediums is probably the better play. We'll do that. We'll start on mediums. It's just a better play. Even if it's just 10 laps, the mediums will still be better to use here. And that also means we can push them a bit more to try and make a places get a gap. So that is the idea here. Apparently I did this, but I forgot to click this button, which means it was null and void. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one again, honestly. If we can make something happen. Overfuel by 1 lap. Car pieces look good. Starting 3rd, starting 11th. Gonna be a bit of a weird one. 2-stop Giovinazzi and Magnussen lined. It's gonna be raining though, that's the problem. If it wasn't raining, we'd be doing medium, hard most likely. Since we do have 2 sets of hards for once, but of course when I do have them, it's raining. Fernando is stimulating the rumors. That's interesting. The thing here is the soft tires, the performance. Most of the other teams are going to most likely be starting on mediums. These are 3.5 tenths quicker, yes, but they lose out about 700 a lap. So if I do softs or mediums, it doesn't really matter. But if I do mediums and push the tires slightly, they will actually have a better performance than the softs for those 10 laps. Overfueling a car doesn't really affect speed by barely anything. Like, we overfueled a car by 20 kilograms at one point, and it barely had any effect. So what we figured out, Nick, is that underfueling is straight up a nerf, overfueling is a buff. So one of the rules for this is that I'm only allowed to overfuel by 1 lap, because maximum overfuel pushing for the entire time is gonna be just straight up faster. Softs could be better to start with from that perspective, but purely here what we are trying to do is just get track positions before the switch. And if we were to try and go for a 1-stopper here, sorry, a 1 inter, we are going to be running into the lower zones for both stints. And since we are overfueling to push the tires, it will be a net negative to do this. We will not be able to make the tires last. We're going to have to do the tree stopper to make this strategy work. And that's also why I'm starting on the mediums, so that we can push those. Allow our drivers to run aggressive when they get chances. And that is generally the idea here. Unfortunately, that's why I'm doing this.
The drivers there line up. Here we go. It's the United States Grand
Spain is
Prix.
usually a pretty good one. I see some mediums,
And it's
1
lights
red.
out, and away we go.
And for tires, again, Verstappen on all softs, Leclerc on all softs. Not really too much of a surprise there. And we already got Verstappen. Already got Russell. And as I said, if we want to, we can run these tires on aggressive, no problem. Here though, a bit worse for wear. losing out. Magnussen lost out back.
An excellent move by Haas to gain a few places.
But yeah, Spain is usually a good track. We could run the tires down aggressive for Magnussen, but with the overfueling, I think we're good where we are. Just getting away now from Russell, that's going to be a bit of a challenge. And Gio's going to struggle here to make us boss on his own.
Good job, mate.
Put it over to deploy.
Mode push.
Copy.
We'll see if we can get Magnussen pull away a little bit. And that's that. We can now try and run the aggressive to the pit stop here. Magnussen already getting a gap there. Russell, quite a significant gap. And we'll see if he can extend it. Gio not having any luck making our places. Might need to have to pull him on full attack. We shall see. Race to go, and Alonso came back level on points. Gonna be an exciting end to the season. Yeah. How much better is my car compared to the Merc? My car is worse compared to the Merc. That is why I'm going for the medium tire so we can push to the end. My car currently is fourth or 5th on the average. So it's not really a good car. We have a bunch of limitations to make the game a bit more interesting so we don't just run away. That is generally why we're kind of struggling here. So there's a reason why Magnussen is able to kind of run away. We've prioritized his pace stats, his braking, and Gio just doesn't have his braking stat up yet, which just shows how much of a difference there is between the two drivers purely based on that, unfortunately. Alonso K-Mag level on point. Well, if you let RNG decide, they're gonna crash into each other, Edster, let's be fair. I'm curious if Verstappen and Leclerc are gonna pit before the rain. Because at this rate, they might. Brake cooling, yeah, reduces lockups through. Magnussen though is looking good. He's kind of pulling away like we expected. Gio is kind of struggling back there. Verstappen actually getting pulled ahead by a Merc. Yes, a bit more surprising than what I expected here. Pit window has been entered, which is correct, because we are going to be pitting around lap 10 once it starts raining. 10, 11. And at this rate, we might actually burn the tires down a bit too quick. We shall see. That is true. Research cannot reduce tire degradation. There's not really anything that has an effect on tire degradation except for one of the driver stats, but it's very, very minor, so I would not advise you to put points into that. It just isn't worth it. I'd rather put the points into the pace stat. It'll give you an extra pit stop, and that'll give you basically you can put the 50 points, well, the 100 points that you would into smoothness into your pace stats, and sure, you'd have less tire wear with 100 smoothness, but you'd be so much quicker with the pace stats that you'd be able to make up that extra pit stop easily. 100 smoothness would give you 2, 3, 4 laps maybe of extra tire wear.
Very good job. We expect rain again.
Unfortunately, no real way to reduce tire wear.
With an overtake there.
Giovinazzi finally got a move there on Bottas, which is good. Magnussen almost 5 seconds out in front. Honestly, a bit surprising, but we'll take it. I mean, why wouldn't we? Average lap times are 140. So, what I'm thinking here... Magnussen ran wide. That's not good. Hopefully he didn't lose too much time.
Oh, they've run wide.
Looks like it didn't. But what I'm thinking is that we pit on the next lap. And again, the pit stop should take 20 seconds. We should be getting some rain. And we might be a genius or we might be an idiot. We shall see. But once this takes down to 2 minutes. Either that or we just do full attack for both. We can put Giovinazzi a little bit further behind than Magnussen. And it's a bit more of a gamble, but I still feel like it's worth it. I'm thinking we pit Gio here for Inters. And then we put Magnussen next lap. You give me an over, you have to strag. Strategize my race. Generally, the way that I look at it is I go into the reports here, the pre-race report. I have a look at the pit lane time loss. If it's a long pit lane, you kind of want to, you know, avoid pitting too many times. Don't pit in the incoming lag. Remember the last stream of Monza? I did, but yeah, but I kind of want to gamble. This is some more Alonso. We're never getting back together. But yes, basically look at pit time. If it's slow, like this one, you might want to try more pit stops. If it's like 30 seconds, you might want to try and get... is it not doing them? But generally, if you have a look at this page, it'll tell you a lot about how you can expect compounds to perform. So softs at Coda are really bad. They degrade at 2:21. 0.21 seconds a lap, which means that after one lap, this lap time will be 39:26, then 39:47. And since these degrade slower, you can take the difference, which is 700s, so this number here, and then you just add until this number gets close to this, which would be 0.7 times 0.07 times 5, 0.35. And that means they're about equal. So for the softs here to become as, well, slow in this case as the mediums would take 5 laps. So every lap after 5 laps on the softs, you are running slower than the mediums. And the same here for hards. There's about 5/10 difference. There's about 500s. Time it by 10, you get about 10 laps, and then the mediums become hards. So if you consider that, the competitive performance of the soft and the medium of this track are very low. And thus, hards are really good at Coda. And generally, I just strategize around those kinds of tires, and anything else is just safety cars. But yeah, we're gonna be pitting Giovinazzi. I know Theodore, not the best. The mediums become hards in terms of performance, yes. In terms of pace performance, but not in terms of actual gains. It's probably not the best wording, let's be honest. 1 minute here now to rain. So yeah, I'm going to gamble on Gio, getting him in here quicker. And we'll get Magnussen now on this following lap.
Yep, understood.
We'll see if we can
And
make
white
something
line.
happen with that. Because it's not the shortest pit lane. Rain is starting, just as Gio is leaving the pit lane. 0.4. And he does have Rick in front of him, which could be problematic, but we'll see. I assume that all the, well, most of the answer to this waivers would be Taylor Swift songs, if I'm not mistaken. Tires are severely overheating because it's not proper wet yet, but it will be very, very soon. So we'll see if Gio actually jumps anyone. Well, he did get Rick there pretty quickly. And he's just flying after Schumacher. So Gio might actually jump Magnussen here potentially, or maybe not. There's a couple of turns before that. Did Russell stay out? Both Russell and Leclerc stayed out. Okay. I'm gonna need Magnussen to overtake him immediately. Gio jumped up to 9th, so he will potentially jump up to 5th. I think that we have 4 cars ahead that still hasn't pitted. I'd say this is pretty good so far from the just from a tire strategy perspective. Although Magnussen isn't really getting held up there. That is a bit unfortunate. Is Alonso? Alonso is on new tires. Okay, that makes sense then. Probably should have him just driving free air, clean air. I believe is the order. So yeah, Gio jumped up into fifth. Jesus, my brain is fried today. And it's not chasing down signs. So yeah. Not the worst pit stop ever. Should probably give Magnussen the driving free air command. Make my life a little bit easier. That's on me. Still, this is currently a very, very good situation for us. But we'll have to see exactly what we do with these tires, and particularly degradation is going to be a bit of a problem. The two more pit stops we are planning could come back to bite us in the arse pretty hard here. But it's a risk I'm willing to take. For now, we'll allow the fuel to run down to about half a kilogram deficit. I think that is acceptable. And we aren't really pulling away from Verstappen. We're getting a slight amount every lap. That is, again, very, very slight. Spin from show. Still in 9th, though, so not the worst thing ever. Bit unfortunate, of course. Potentially, yeah. One last up Inter might have played out, but we'll see. Because once these Inters really start to suffer down the line, is when things are going to get interesting. Right now, the lap times are actually getting shorter for the most part, so we'll see. Bit slower there, 45. And since we have fastest lap, we should at least get the extra point for that. Hopefully. Gio, I forgot him. Put him to balance. Yeah. Might need to change things up a little bit here, we'll see. Because we are still good, actually, in regards to this. We could still do these two down to 30. And then change to a one-stopper. It's not impossible yet.
It's a race position gained from Mercedes.
It's just going to be risky towards the end. Gio got overtaken by Hamilton. Not a big surprise. It isn't really that quick, especially when it can't push his engine. That's the setup. We might just run the tires down to 30. Bit of a difficult one to judge, but again, we have one running 44 4s, 44 3s. We've already lost 2 seconds just pure lap time. So keep that up for 10 laps, and you have potentially regained more than just your pit stop. And if they're going for a one-stopper, the two-stopper might actually be valuable, but be worth it, not valuable. But the problem with this is getting it done and come out ahead of, say, Gio at least. So running them a little bit further low could be doable, but pull off this strategy, we're going to have to pit fairly soon. And then it's just picking our way through the cars in front. For instance, if we take this one and edit it, then we remove this stint. Remove this one, and we pit around here. A new set of enters. Game doesn't think they'll live to the end, but then again, game doesn't think these will live either. So it is doable, but it's gonna be this is gonna be very risky towards the end. You're gonna lose a lot of time already. Again, at 40% down, the lap times have drastically slowed. So let's see here. We pitted here, 44.6, 44.1, the best one, and now we're at 46.7. So already lost about 2.5 seconds in just pure lap time. And if you take that into consideration, as long as we can get out ahead of Gio, ahead of Hamilton, sorry, not ahead of Hamilton, ahead of Gio, and then we can pick our way through. I still think it's a better strategy to just pit when we were planning to. Probably not for Gio though, because Gio just won't be able to make his way through. That is his problem. There's also potentially a problem with Magnussen and pitting now for him. So there are a couple of things to take into consideration for that, but I want to try this with Magnussen. It's more of a fun strategy. That's why I want to give it a go. Not gonna beat Gio, is he? Just barely. There we go. So 33-second pit lane, which is expected. And now we should have no problem catching up to the cars in front. Just purely based on better tires. If we were to pit Gio, he'd come out behind Leclerc. So we could convert Gio to a one-stopper, because he will just have so much more of a harder time picking his way through the other teams. I think Magnussen is the better candidate for doing the team picking, so to speak. And we'll check his lap time after this one, see if it has improved from 46.7, was it? 46.2. And I wouldn't be too concerned that if it has or not, because he's catching up to Hamilton here. And Sainz pretty quick. But he's going to have to get through them pretty fast to make it worth it. Basically, see Alonso in top 1, top 3. He's actually running top 1 here. Gio is going to, again, struggle to keep his position, I think, unfortunately. Give Magnussen the overtake. And hopefully, that should be enough to just fly by them here. Because high degradation tracks like Coda, it's the same high degradation no matter what tire you're on. So you still want to pit 10-15 laps. And we'll see now. If Magnussen can close down these 14 seconds and still have a tire advantage, it would probably prove that it's a decent strategy.
Save some fuel.
We are saving fuel for Gio, so it's not a biggie there. But Gio is, again, just going to struggle no matter which strategy we do. He's just slower to begin with. Okay, it's the last lap. Have a look here. 45.3s with the overtakes. 46.8, 46.7, gaining about 1.5 seconds a lap. So within 10 laps, we'd be caught up, but both of those are going to pit before then. And potentially give us some fresh air before the final pit stop here. So we could also push tires a bit more towards the end. Nothing wrong with that. But for Gio, we're going to pit and then most likely run a bit more safer option in terms of tire wear. We'll see. For now, though, it's fine just letting him kind of be a roadblock. I think we are going to be pitting him this lap, maybe. Yep. Onto the new ones, and we'll see if he can run it to the end on these tires. Probably not. We'll have to have a look there. Magnussen though, 7 seconds now behind the two cars in front, gaining still around 1.5 minutes, a little bit less, but still good. Gio comes out in 11th. Not great, but then again, most cars in front here are going to have to pit again. So, might not be the worst here for Gio. And according to this, his tires will just barely survive to the end, so we can just leave him be. Magnussen is catching up to both Verstappen and Alonso. And again, both of those cars do have to hit again. So, It's just figuring out tire wear, mainly.
We need to save some
That makes the
fuel 'cause
game
we're
a
not
bit
gonna
easier.
finish.
Copy.
And Magnussen got Verstappen easily, which is surprising to me. Okay. That's bad. That's Magnussen out, I think. Yeah, terminal damage to chassis. That's
Okay,
Magnussen out. That's painful.
They crashed out! Here's the replay.
Uh,
Now just focus on the Haas. That crash is terrible news for the team.
that was indeed terrible news. That's going to make the championship struggle here a bit harder. Because I'm pretty sure we would have had a potential win there in the bag, unfortunately. That's going to make Gio's life a bit harder now, because a lot of people are going to be given free pit stops. Probably won't be able to jump much of anyone. Oh, we're actually going to jump quite a few, but then again, it would jump more if it wasn't. Current situation. Should have gone straight on. Honestly, I think he would have hit Alonso if it went straight on, so... Probably fair that he should have done it, but... It's unfortunately, sometimes it happens. I'm just sad that the safety car we made kind of benefits Verstappen here. That is my main disappointment, I guess. But that is this game. Like, with McLaren stream, we had a potential for
Safety car
a fairy tale
in
ending
this
for
lap.
Ferraris,
Safety
but then
car
he
in
too
this lap.
crashed.
Copy.
So, maybe my streams are just cursed, who knows. With this though, we do have fuel we can push. Which is gonna make potentially getting a little bit further up the track a bit easier. We have energy we can try and use too. And we'll see, maybe we can... I don't think we'll fight for a podium, but maybe a 4th place. We shall see. Leclerc crashed twice in 10 laps, then spun, lost 16 seconds. That does sound like the, you know, the kind of curses this game throws out just to annoy you. Gio made it up to 5th. Can he maintain it? No.
Is that a new race position for Haas?
Just straight up fighting here, unfortunately.
McLaren gain a position.
Okay. Can you hold on to it this time, Gio? Nope.
Oh, did someone run wide
Maybe?
there?
Hello, Toxney. Magnussen had a lockup, unfortunately, when he was overtaking Alonso. Crashed into the wall and was out. But, it is what it is. Can't really do anything about it at this stage. We'll just try and see here if we can get Gio into what is now potentially a 5th place, I think. I think we're catching up to the Ferrari, and hopefully what I would love to see here is Hamilton actually get a surprise win. Sorry, not surprise win, but take Verstappen. But I think we're going to have an Alonso surprise win. But yeah, this is kind of unfortunate for Magnussen's chances. It puts him on the back burner. Yeah. Still, Verstappen coming in 2nd here, and we removing that fastest point is not the worst. He will be 16 points ahead of us, which is still doable, but it's just going to be more difficult. And again, Gio here is probably just not quick enough to make anything happen here. Tire wear is still pretty high, so we can't really do aggressive. We lose too much time to cars behind us in the long run. The weather is going to remain stable to the end. It has remained stable since around lap 10. So I wouldn't be too concerned there. Oh, Hamilton decided to pit with 4 laps to go. I don't think we can expect anything like that, though. Judging by this, Albon pitted. Are we gonna see a science pit here, potentially? But that's why I say this weather makes the AI do interesting stuff. Russell pitted.
Or is it improving at all? It looks like to us it's not raining.
Copy.
We'll see how this goes now because it's stopped raining. 2 laps to go. Will it dry up quick enough that we get into trouble? Or will it remain stable? Final lap. Guess we won't see any shenanigans from pitting here, hopefully. But yeah, both... The fact that both of them, you know, pitted and left the points is a bit surprising.
DRS is enabled, DRS enabled.
But Alonso getting a surprise victory for Alpine at Coda. That's that is quite impressive. Gio got 4th, which isn't the worst thing ever. Verstappen 2nd though, kind of unfortunate for us. But again, it's not the worst thing ever. It was a pretty good race from Giovinazzi. Rainy weather kind of does that. Alpine though winning with Alonso, bit of a surprise. Both Ferraris in the points. We have Norris 5th for McLaren, 6th for Alpha, Perez 7th. Show scoring points for Aston, and then we have AlphaTauri finishing out the points with Gasly. This means that Verstappen once again retakes the lead in driver standings. Magnussen now 16 points behind again. And Giovinazzi gets pushed down 1-2 by Alonso, who won a race. So that isn't too surprising. Sainz once again goes ahead of Leclerc. Bottas moves up ahead of Ocon. And for the Constructor Championship, no real changes. Ferrari gains a bit of a bigger gap on us now, up to 10 points. Which is unfortunate because we'd probably be ahead of them. And... Magnussen not crashed out. Aston moves up ahead of AlphaTauri now. And yeah. Hello wipe. Let's go Italian Jesus. Got a 4th place. Not the baddest, not the worst position we've gotten so far. Development point for Magnussen. And driver bonuses goes to Giovinazzi. Yeah, if we have a big my brain really is fried right now. Jesus. We have a quick look at our car and our car analysis, because there was a question there on how good is my car compared to, say, the Red Bull. So as you can see, our car currently is very bad at high-speed corners, decent at low-speed corners, but generally this is a midfield car. Like, we should not be competing versus Red Bull, which is a better car in, as you can see, every single aspect compared to ours. So, it's interesting to see that Magnussen's stats, particularly the braking stat, is just so powerful that it allows him to find cars and drivers that are technically better than him. ATR period starts today. The board is at least happy with our race, which is good. But yeah, we'll do Mexico. I think we'll be there. When you get your underfloor, your Ferrari will be way better than Red Bull? I think so. Honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, our car is kind of bad in high-speed corners right now. It's absolutely useless, honestly. So, might need to rectify that come next season. We do have limitations that make our car don't develop as quick. That means good. I think the reason why I think braking is the most important pace stat is because you use it on every single corner. Cornering is also good. Reactions is decent. Allows you to get faster out of corners. So generally the pace stats as a whole are probably the most important ones. Braking, then cornering and reactions. So wouldn't surprise me really. Again, with the save game editor, I might test stats more in depth once I get some more free time. Yeah, braking is braking and pace stance in general is a bit too... has a bit too much of an impact. But yeah, let us get to Mexican Grand Prix. Guess we're ready.
Music is in the air this weekend.
Put in the practice parts. Remember Dragovic, so Jack doesn't lose his mind. Okay, this is actually a problem. Magnussen's crash wrecked the only good engine he had left. We are gonna have to take penalties here, I think. I don't think Brazil will be worth it to take penalties. And did he wreck the ERS too? No, the ERS is good. Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna have to take penalties here. The gearbox also got wrecked somehow. We'll have to take the engine penalty, which is gonna make it even more of a challenge, but not too much we can do about that. Honestly. It's just how things be. I was afraid of it, but again, crashes happen. It's racing. And you just have to deal with the hand you're dealt. Another way to deal with it. You can do everything right, and then just a little bit of bad luck will cause a lot of pain. So Verstappen is also taking penalties here. Same as Perez, Alonso, Leclerc. Okay. That's a lot of penalties for a lot of people. That one is straight up bad. Okay, that's interesting. Let's try this. See if that's closer to what he would like. Good. So... this one's probably going to be wrong like this, but we'll give it a go. But yeah, we'll see exactly how this works out. If we take penalties too, Verstappen take penalties. If our quality isn't complete garbage, we might still be okay here. Okay, so we're lacking this one basically. If we get that one correct, we'd be pretty well suited. But I am, again, there's just too many penalties too in this game. That's one of the things I kind of dislike. That once you get to the last 5 races of a season, everyone is, like half the teams in the grid are taking penalties. And sometimes even more than that. Luckily for Gio, he has more parts than he actually needs, which is good. But unfortunately, it isn't the case for Magnussen. I think we're ready for Wally here. And yeah, we are going to take a penalty for car 2. That is perfectly okay.
Ready to check, Kev? Radio is good.
Hopefully we can still make something out of this race. Sorry, I was yawning. I'm still having fun with the game. I'm just tired after a long day. So after this race, I think I'm gonna have to call it a night, unfortunately. Looks like we got a clean first run here, which is very good. Gio just half a second behind. Well, it's a shorter lap time, so it shouldn't be that surprising. Ooh, Gio kind of held up Paris there. But not enough, clearly. Still beat out Magnussen. I think we are safe. I would think so again. For both drivers here, so we'll just speed through quali. I think Gio is safe. Ocon will probably improve, Hamilton will probably improve, but Alonso will probably improve. But there are more drivers in between that I think it should be safe. Might be a bit of a gamble, but again, I think it's okay. Looks like he is safe. I don't think Schumacher or Tsunoda are going to improve. Put them on the old softs. We can save the fresh softs compound.
Radio check.
Yeah, loading clear.
Are we going to get any roadblocks? Looks like we are good. Looks like we might be the roadblock potentially. Gio's still 4/10 behind. Kind of what we expect. But this time we are going to run a second run. Definitely for Gio. We'll have to see what we do for Magnussen. We feel like it's good enough. I have to see here once Verstappen and Perez do their runs. We can do fresh tires here just in case, so he's ready. But right now it looks like we're gonna gamble on Magnussen being safe. Thinking. Maybe not. We are taking penalties after all. Verstappen is definitely going to go ahead. Yeah, you did. So, with that in mind, I think we're just going to send Magnussen out too. Might be a bit of a risk here. With wasting tires, but I think it's worth it. And Gasly here is gonna actually probably be a problem for us. He's gonna be our roadblock here. And R in particular. Magnussen and Gio now basically running back to back. So Gio is being Magnussen's roadblock to some degree. I could have done that a lot better. Magnussen's safe, Gio is not. So wasted 2 sets us off there. Which is not great.
Radio check, Kevin.
Radio is good.
Yes, it is the cost of not wanting to take risks. Verstappen is just so speedy right now. Did he switch his engine for this? That's what's going on. He did, but he's gonna have an ERS issue. Maybe during the race or the next race, for sure. So it might take. He's either gonna run with a damaged ERS, or it's gonna take another penalty. But I think it would be worth it for him to just take the penalty. He'll still be quick. I'm impressed though that the Alpines have been basically stable in Q3 now for the last few races.
Oh, we've had a spin.
Verstappen with a spin could potentially cause some damage, but I don't think so. We'll see if he improves his time or not. Perez improved his time. Not really any improvement from Verstappen. We're starting 6th. I don't know where other penalties will put us though. That's the question here. There's one component, so you'd think 5 places, but I never put myself too far into the penalty system, unfortunately. But Verstappen's take penalties too, so we'll see where we end up.
The time has come.
We are starting 12th and 11th, so yeah. I would assume... I don't get why we're starting 12th though, to be fair, but we'll take it. And reports. That's fine, Kieran. See you soon. 24-second pit lane, not longest, not the shortest. We have 75% safety car chance at 3 out of 4 races. Compound performance. Yeah, we'll do that, Kieran. Thank you. If I need something from you, I will DM you for the information. Thank you very much for the offer. Compound performance. Softs will be quicker than mediums, for about 10 laps. Mediums to hards is a different story altogether. They'll be quicker for about 25 laps. And soft to hards will be quicker for almost 15 laps there too, 16 laps. So some soft medium strategy, combination of that will probably be beneficial. As you can see here, the expected strategies are one stop at medium hard, medium, or just straight up soft to hard. So we might cause some problems here if we go for a different strategy. We could go slow and steady for Gio, to be fair. Just put him on a medium to hard strategy. He does have problems overtaking. We could also give him the medium hard medium. If we have a look here at Magnussen, we make a new strategy for him. Where we go, let's say we start on the softs. Try and make up some places, and then we go onto the mediums down the line. So let's see, we do first 16 laps on the softs. And we do this. Let me have another look. If we move this way. A sec here. We need to mark it first. So if we run the softs longer, it would be a better strategy just from that perspective. I think we'll do that. Save about 2 seconds. And this strategy compared to the other strategies, how does it fare? This would be 14 seconds slower, this would be 7 seconds slower, 16 seconds slower. So soft, medium strategy might be the play here. Again, the medium isn't that much slower, all things considered. So we'll have the most split strategies to make things a little bit more interesting. And I think that should be okay. We'll have to see it though if we want to allow Magnussen past Gio on the race start. Hello Nienke, we're about to start the Mexican Grand Prix. We had, unfortunately, an accident at Coda. Magnussen was leading, and then it crashed out, so that might have dashed our hopes there, but we'll see. Due to that crash, we're taking an engine penalty here, which means we're starting 12 for him. Giovinazzi did not have the best quality, starting 11.
Now we should
He
have
qualied
good weather.
14th.
What will happen next? We're about to find out.
We have an Alpha on the front row,
And it's lights out.
so a bit of an
away we
interesting
go.
starting grid here. Verstappen third, even though he took penalties. And in terms of tires, it's mostly mediums, a few soft runners. Magnussen has kind of already dealt with Gio. So we'll see how this works, but generally we want Magnussen to try and make up places early on. And he kind of is, honestly. Just kind of bullying his way through.
Nice work.
The goal here will be to try and catch up to Verstappen up front, but that's going to be a tall order.
Moved up the field.
Hello David, season is going actually pretty okay. We're currently in Mexico. Magnussen is 16 points behind Verstappen in first. And in terms of the team, we are about 10 points behind Ferrari in second. But other than that, there's not too much to say really. Red Bull kind of being untouchable in the start of the season. We have a Alpine kind of resurgent. Alonso actually won last race with Alpine. Basically, your pace stats is what you want to focus on, Yankee. Mainly your braking, then your cornering and your reactions. Because we don't have a super good car. We basically have, I believe, a very classic midfield car. But the reason why we are kind of competing with the cars around us are because Magnussen braking stat is 97, and with the stat boost you get from practice, you can bring that up to 100. So yeah, generally just the 3 top stats. Pace stats, mainly braking, is really good to improve. Theo is not having a good time. He's once again stuck behind a McLaren. Kind of surprising though that Magnussen ended up stuck behind signs like this.
DRS enabled.
Maybe it will change, or maybe not.
Haas with an overtake there.
Giovinazzi finally
Let's
got
take a
Norris
closer
though.
look. Now just focus on the Haas.
ERS is getting low, you are correct about that, but I think we're okay for now. Once it gets to 30-20% mark, I get concerned. I might be allowing them to run it a little bit lower than
Doing
they
a good
should.
job.
Like Magnussen here. And Gio, basically. But you're not wrong, I do have a habit of
Haas
forgetting.
with an overtake.
There we go, Magnussen got the signs. And again, we kind of want to try and get as far up as we can. Still going to be a bit challenging. I'm glad you joined him, Ninka. I'm very happy to hear that. Thank you. It is enjoyable to make them too. Well, I have a few hundred hours in this game, so I should have learned to just watch the ERS numbers before they get too low, to be fair. So I am grateful that you let me know. I am grateful for all your reminders. Like, I still forget to switch out my for my reserve driver every now and again. I think that I mentioned it might have happened this race. Oh, competitor crash. Schumacher and Perez.
It's a crash. Let's take a look at the replay. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin.
Oh, so Schumacher locked up and Perez turned into his back tire as a result. That is unfortunate, but it does happen. This is actually the race where we have a lot of shenanigans happening with lockups, so please don't make me buy you another engine, Magnussen. Please. To be fair though, David, Mick hasn't really been doing Mick things this season. I think that's like the 3rd incident total, 4th maybe, and we're almost done with the season right now. So he's not been the worst boy.
Sounds like a spin.
I did that once, Ninka, and then I learned my lesson. Because that's one of those things that can really harm you, especially specifically if you run low-end components. Looks like we are kind of struggling here, though. Like, we are falling behind the rest of the pack. Verstappen and Hamilton just running out front. This could potentially be very, very bad for the championship dream. But I am impressed by the fact that Verstappen took a penalty and fell from P1 to P3. That was a bit more than I expected. was about to say my mic is going to crash and then happened. Yeah. Every time someone thinks about mic crashing, the monkey paw just laughs and curls. They use a bit more too much ERS there. Still can get the move done. This is, I believe, one of my worst tracks, honestly. There's not much you can do here from a strategy viewpoint, unfortunately. Mike knows what we want. Mick just crashes his car, walks out, screams, "Are you not entertained?" If I could animate, I would make that. F1 meme collection just opens up with an animation of Schumacher crashing in Monaco, Haas split in two, and he just walks out and yells, "Are you not entertained?" Might be in poor taste, to be fair, but I would find it funny. We are struggling at this track, though. That is definitely for sure. Magnussen locked up but didn't lose any positions. Lost the RS though. This is gonna be painful.
Straight on. Let's see what happened there. Now just
The
focus
coordinated
on the
spin.
Haas. Just
Now that you mentioned waves, it did immediately come to mind. That was funny. Could be added as a curriculum to ballerina school. But that's also probably insensitive, so I should probably apologize for that. But again, it's just one of those funny thoughts. I don't mean any ill will. But nowadays, anything can be taken out of context and can be crucified for it. Unfortunately, it was really impressive. Honestly, if synchronized spinning was a part of F1, they'd probably get top characters. At first Latifi ranked that he didn't cause. Ah, you mentioned it. Did he cause anyone? Like, was anyone else responsible before that? Trying to think. What I'm taking bets on is just how many crashes are we gonna get at Baku this weekend? Like total. Practice, the qualies, the sprint, the race. And I'm wondering how Steiner is gonna react if one of the Haas gets totally wrecked. Because a lot of team principals have been complaining about early pit and try and jump them. We could, but then again, it is a two-stopper for both of our cars, basically. We could try and have Gio push a little bit here and let get into it. He's still come up behind these boys, though. For Magnussen, it would be kind of the same scenario for the most part. But we can go full-on attack on this lap and just get into the pit lane. It's not a bad idea by any means. And honestly, I think we'll do the same for Gio. Just see if he can get a little bit of done. A little bit of a jump. A wet Baku? A wet Baku, I think, would give every driver a heart attack. Like, imagine a proper wet Baku. That would be some insanity great stuff.
someone spun out.
3.2 second stationary. Yeah, my main concern is just like if these guys are doing a one-stopper, we might be in kind of a bad spot here. We'll see. But yeah, pitting early might not be the worst idea here. It is kind of difficult to overtake. Magnussen has been very good at overtaking within the first lap, but after that he kind of slows down a lot. Just a bit unfortunate. Okay, what happened to Verstappen here? I wasn't paying attention for a second. Now he's down into 5th. Okay, Magnussen up into 9th so far. Behind Russell. Russell's running hard, so he'll be running to the end. The quicker we get behind, the better. Hamilton 2 will be running to the end.
Is that a new race position for Haas?
This could still be interesting, honestly. Looks like he pitted. I'm just surprised that his tires, like, are this low. I just want to see when he pitted. Oh, yeah, Verstappen hasn't pitted yet. He was leading for a little bit, so... I don't know what happened there, that's the thing. Probably ran wide or spun or something, and I just was too busy having a look at chat. He spun, yeah. Oh, we have multiple cars crashed. Yellow flag so far. Verstappen's still moving.
Like
He is the
Let's
red
have a
one
look.
involved.
Okay, here's the Ferrari.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the collision. It's caused absolute carnage.
I would assume he did because he was leading at one point, and then next time I had a look, he was 5 seconds behind the leader. And now he's finally pitting. And I think this might actually put Magnussen out ahead of him, potentially. We'll see. Yeah, Magnussen jumped him in the pits, and Magnussen was very far behind him. So he must have spun or run wide, something. But yeah, pitting early worked, but again, we're going to have to pit again, so that's going to be interesting.
Sounds like someone's locked up.
He was flying after the spin. Could be. Leclerc is now pitting. Are we going to jump him too? A lot of them are pitting. Not going to jump Leclerc though, so we have Leclerc and Hamilton ahead of us on Haas. And we'll see what we can do with Verstappen. If we can hold him up a bit and just wear down his tires, that would actually be kind of good. But he's already fighting us hard here. And it would look like he has DRS here now and not us, which is even
Red Bull
sadder.
moved up.
Theo has moved up to 9th, and he is potentially not going to make it to the end on these. We'll see. But yeah, Verstappen is just flying, so this is going to be difficult for sure. If we can beat Verstappen here, that would be a dream scenario, but again, he's just so quick. It's going to be difficult.
Red Bull gained a place.
And again, it'll depend on if he goes on these to the end, which he probably could if he wanted to. This pit stop might actually benefit us quite a bit. But it'll depend on how big the gaps are between us and the cars behind when we get there. I would assume you get DRS waivers, honestly. It's the DRS detection zone that matters after all. Verstappen has already gone Leclerc. Now we are stuck behind Leclerc instead of Verstappen. It's just unfortunate. It's the same as Magnussen locking up and crashing out from basically first place. Yes, it was a limitation that I can only sign free agents to, well, both for staff and for drivers. I can re-sign the ones I currently have if I want to, but usually we'll end up with free agents to make it a little bit more interesting. The reason why we have Giovinazzi, Italian Jesus, is because of a poll I made when we finished last season. And I guess people thought it would be funny to... Okay.
We can take a look now. All eyes on Kevin Magnussen here. And this, yes, there, that's the lockup.
You have some interesting aim here, Magnussen, but at least you didn't completely wreck your car. So yeah, at this point, we can basically say Magnussen is sabotaging himself. From the championship, it takes a bit too much of a toll on him. He's still P4, yes. He didn't lose too much of time here, but he was very close to killing Leclerc. Well, taking him out. But at this point, with how quick Verstappen is, like Abu Dhabi is potentially something we can win due to safety cars. Brazil is going to be more difficult. This race is going to be more difficult. Which means that if we want to have any chance of winning, we need something to happen in this race to Verstappen, or we need to somehow win. He was very close to taking himself out, yeah. He was kind of going back and forth there, aiming for the wall. Lap time wise, again, we're running kind of the same as the cars behind. Some of them are actually quicker than us, so it's not looking great. Like Verstappen is running almost 2 seconds quicker than us, and 1.5 seconds quicker than the cars behind, so I assume that was with DRS, though. Still a second quicker, so with that in mind, it's going to be even more of a challenge. And we did burn a bit of tire wear there on the lockup. Tsunoda has been beached for a second.
Been a lockup.
The lockup himself.
Take a closer look. Now we see the Williams here, and there's the lockup. It almost.
This track has some very interesting lockups, unlike Canada. We could also push the fuel because we have a lot of it. I've been focused on a few other. I've been focused on other things, but I really should have seen the fuel a bit earlier. Joe, if he's gonna make this last to the end, it is doable currently. We're a little bit above the edge too, so we can burn fuel. So if we want to, we can try and make it last to the end, but if we get a gap where we can pit Gio somewhat safely, we should take it. But right now it doesn't look like it's gonna happen, so bit of a weird one. Yeah, the race unfortunately kind of ruined our chance there. If Magnussen had won that and Verstappen say came second, we'd have faster lap 2, so it'd have an 10-point advantage, which would have been mad for the last 3 races. Like it would have kept it alive, but if say Verstappen wins there, Magnussen get 4th, it's not gonna be good for our chances. And when we pit here again, we're probably gonna come out just ahead of Gio. We're lucky. So gotta be challenging from more than just one angle here, because we need to make it through the cars afterwards. Then again, they are on older Haas. It should be doable. Yeah. Particularly Mexico and Brazil, there's limits to what you can do with tire strategies and safety car strategies, because there usually aren't too many of them. Kind of limits your options. So yeah, we want to go on second set of mediums. Guess on this next lap. But yeah. Singapore is a good one, like a good one where we can take advantage. Abu Dhabi is the same, simply because there is usually almost guaranteed more than one safety car. And every time there's more than one safety car, if you're running a weaker car, have a huge advantage over the AI, because you can anticipate it. and plan your strategy around it. See, we came out in 9th. We are 18 seconds-ish. Get up there. See if we can make it happen. Well, we're already closing down pretty aggressively here. Gasly, we have 22 laps to play with. So, let's see what we can make out of this. Right now, Verstappen is just cruising. We have 2 cars pitting, 3 cars pitting. And we're actually going to jump them all, which is beautiful. They are basically running the same strategies as we are. They went on to the mediums. Sainz, Ricciardo do the same. It's in the points, but it's going to be, I think, difficult to hold on to the position. We're not going to catch Hamilton here. No way. But if Ocon pits, I think we can catch him. And if Gio holds up Paris, that would actually not really benefit us greatly, but it would be a help. Our main fight is with the Ferrari, Sainz 16th, Leclerc 2nd. So this race, none of the things we need to go our way are, unfortunately. And Paris has now overtaken Gio, so yeah, and Gio just doesn't have any chance to keep up with his slow braking. It's very, very unfortunate. Are we going to be able to catch Ocon? It's going to be close. Very close. Because in terms of lap times, we are running 8 tenths quicker. We have 16 laps to do it on. It's gonna be, I think, a bit too close that we probably won't get it, honestly. Hamilton should be quicker than us. Yeah, he is quicker by 10. So Ocon is going to be the target, but again, it's going to be very, very difficult to get him within time here. So unfortunately, it looks like a 5th and potentially a 10th place is the best thing we can go for. Jesus go on the softs. If we pit Jesus, he's going to come out 15th place. Ish. Minimum. Probably even further back. So with 15 laps to go, what I'm thinking is that we let Jesus just hold. And we're trying to get him to get that 1 point. Mode 4. The Haas will last to the end, but I think we'll let Gio just run his own race there. Get him 1 point maybe here. Which isn't great, but again, we're kind of limited in what we can do. Which is a bit unfortunate. Can someone tell me how Gio got that nickname? It's basically because Giovinazzi has long flowing hair. So it kind of looks like those classic Jesus paintings. No joke. Like if you just Google Italian Jesus, I can guarantee you that someone has photoshopped like a proper Jesus image of him that you can have a look at.
We've just had a spin.
We are still gaining on Ocon here, so potentially we could make that happen. We signed him around Easter time as well. Yeah, in terms of the stream, that's probably it too. Now, can Gio make these Haas last to the end? It's going to be rough, but I think it will be okay. Again, the cars behind also have shitty hards, so I think we'll be okay there. And I think we'll also be able to catch Ocon and get the 4th place back. Yeah, I've read about that one. Maybe that one was also pretty funny. Like, to be fair though, there's a lot of people I think that have done that era. It wouldn't surprise me. Hey Magnus, let's try not to burn your fuel completely to the ground here. I love that we're technically just pulling Stroll along right now. Save Jesus' fuel. We can push Jesus' fuel a little bit, but honestly, I don't think it matters. Highway is my main concern. Magnus' fuel is kind of bad. With AI art, that might become more prevalent. Random people as Jesus. Wouldn't surprise me, honestly. We did lose out there getting by the back markers. We're gonna save fuel once we get within DRS range of Ocon. And then we'll make a move towards the end. We don't have too many laps left to get something done here, but at the same time, I don't want to save fuel too early and then end up losing the gap we've created here. And we might even overtake while on low fuel. So as long as we stay with him, I'm honestly okay with it. And again, Gio just needs to maintain his gap to battle. So we can't have him push now, just to be safe. Sector 2 yellow. Oh, a Leclerc in the wolf.
Was that a lock-up on the track?
I don't think we're going to get Leclerc even if I go aggressive here. He was a little bit further packed into that sandcastle, maybe. Yeah, looks like Verstappen is going to get victory. Hamilton second, Leclerc third. So, fourth place is still not bad, but I don't like more personally. Gio still holding on to that 10th place. It's still points, don't get me wrong, so it's still not bad. Like, we have Sainz in 15th here. That's going to sting a bit more. Had another weird thing in Sector 2. Ocon with a spin, but he retained his position. Well, not completely retained. Bottas overtook him, but still.
Max Verstappen over the finish line and today's winner.
If we associate certain people with Jesus AI, I can find picture of those people in learning data. Yeah,
Good drive, mate.
that is
Slow down
true.
if you come in.
Okay. 4th and
Checkered
10th.
flag.
Not really what we were hoping for. Still acceptable. Probably out of the championship fight now. But we'll see. Right now we are looking at, what is this? Almost 30 points, 29-point gap. So we'd have to win the last couple of races most likely. And we'd had to need at least one bad performance from Verstappen. So Brazil is going to be really, really interesting because of that. There are chances of crashing out. So we'll see how that goes. In terms of other results here, again, second to Mercedes and Hamilton, third to Leclerc and Ferrari. Bottas still doing good for Alpha, 5th place. Russell 6th. Ocon 7th. Perez 8th. Gasly 9th. And us in 4th and 10th. Now in Driver Championship here, Leclerc and Sainz once again swap places. Hamilton and Russell swap places. Other than that, no real movement. And in the Constructors now, we are falling even further behind Ferrari. We're down to now 12 points behind. Again, not the worst, but we're going to have to see what we can do there. If we have a couple of bad weekends, Mercedes might catch up to us. And Alpha overtakes McLaren. Aston Martin falls behind AlphaTauri. So, honestly, this far into the season, there's a few close fights, which is interesting to see. So that is good too. Please telling these. Yes, you can upgrade your braking. And Drogovic also got a point. What did we fail? Ah, we failed the fastest lap. Is acceptable, I guess. And we'll put your point in braking. Again, this is the main stat that's holding Giovinazzi behind. And as you can see, the difference between Giovinazzi and Magnussen Magnus has a little bit more cornering, but it's mainly that braking stat. And again, if Giovinazzi had 20 more points in braking, that would account to about half a second lap time. So it is quite mad, quite nuts that it's that it has that much of an effect on the lap times, really. Design complete. Front wing, I believe that is a cooling front wing. We also have chassis in launch stock because we did destroy one, so let's just manufacture one normally. Again, we have almost 200 million. Don't need to really worry about any money. And we'll do a new design here, suspension. And we'll put everything into that suspension. And we'll do it cooling. Dio's morale is so poor. I think it's because his contract is running out for 1. But also because he doesn't have had a couple of kind of bad results. And that's just how it be sometimes. What actually reached completion date? Okay. Not even if we rush it. Okay, so I guess our design season is done here. Because we can't actually make any more parts after the final race. If you want to upgrade him yet. We already have upgraded him. It's basically if we want to give him a new contract. Contract here. He has 3 weeks remaining. He has okay morale though, so it's not too bad. The big marker there is just his contract is about to run out. So, for instance, Magnus's morale is also okay. So, has to do with both of them. Everyone is just okay because we don't actually have the staff buildings to give morale. Most of our things are level 2, level 1 for the most part. Staff facility, same here. Team hub, level 2. Race sim, level 2. And for the operational facilities, wardroom, just don't have one. Hospitality area, could probably upgrade. Helipad, just a little bit. Memorabilia, upgrading this thing could actually be worth it for, you know, the morale. But again, level 1, level 2 has the same one. And Tour Center doesn't have any. Oh, Drogovic has a dead point. Yeah, sorry. I kind of missed that one. I read Gio's morale and then don't know if you want to upgrade him yet. I don't know how I missed that Wavies. My apologies. But yeah, generally reserve drivers I just upgrade them every now and again. Drogovic is getting up there though in the points, but again, he too doesn't have too much on his contract, so we can just wait before we upgrade him. We'll make the decision if we might promote him. We'll see. Safety sim in poor condition is something we do want to refurbish. We need what little advantage we have. But yeah, Drogovic, we're gonna upgrade him probably after we renew his contract. You might want to see what we could do with Felipe. Yeah. We might put him in Italian species race spot because he isn't too bad. He's lacking a bit in cornering, lacking a bit in reactions, getting up there and braking. He does have a few concerning stats down here too, though. We might want to try and iron out before we put him in, but we'll see. He's like his cut out of same cloud as K-Mag, yeah. K-Mag is a bit better though in the consistency department, honestly. But yeah, we'll see. If we do get rid of him though, I think we're gonna see if we can pick up a new gen, if there's anyone, but so far we have none. So we'll see exactly what we do in that regard. Maybe pick up someone else. But we'll see. Promote drugs, keep Jesus as preserved. I don't know if Jesus will accept being swapped around is the thing. He has pretty decent stats. Like the only thing he's really lacking is just a braking stat. It's good control, good accuracy. Again, most of his stats are about 80. Just that braking stat is so important in this game that it literally makes or breaks drivers. But unfortunately, it's been a very, very long day. I am gonna have to call it here. And I don't know when we're gonna continue. I will not have time tomorrow. maybe Thursday, maybe Friday. But I'll try and give a bit more of a advance notice both on Discord and on the YouTube page. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. It's been fun, and I hope to see you all around next time. Magnussen Pole Brazil would be a good story if you pull that off. Yes. Thank you all. Bye bye.